Hello, everyone. Testing levels look pretty good. How's everybody doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in this fine world. Thanks for dropping by and spending some time with me. I do appreciate it. Hey, Gathering. Gathering's in the house. Says good morning and happy Saturday. Ready for a great discussion. Yep. Lots of stuff to talk about, and I don't even know where to start. I was just over here on Woo, trying to get some battles in, get some matches in. They started the new Summer of Woo quest a couple days ago. I was unsuccessful in last week's Summer of Woo quest, which was to use to win 5 matches with the female in the lead match. The bot just kept throwing stuff at me that I just couldn't beat. So, and it's interesting in this game, just to get started off here, that the way it works, I've been having some technical difficulties getting the matches in, and then the bot ends up throwing about the same stuff at you over and over again. And if you play the same game, the same character against the same character, it ends up being just like a toss-up. It's interesting, but I'm having fun with it. So let's go back over to Splinterlands. Dehota is in the house. Welcome. KGM Jams here. Says good morning to everyone. Paul Taylor's in the house. People Guild's here. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate your time. So where should we start? Obviously, drop in the comments what you want to talk about. But obviously the big... the big change within the game, which I don't know how much it affects a lot of us that are on the discussion this morning, is the one-click set rentals. But also, I think looming over us is the proposal, the Hive proposal that looked good for a while. Now it's kind of having a lot of people voting against it. That's a discussion in and of itself, and I just don't even know how deep I want to get into that, because it's an interesting framework where they have, and I was watching people discuss it on the Splinterlands channel in Discord. Maybe a half hour ago, people were discussing it. And Hive has this framework where you can't really vote against something. You cannot vote for it, but then you have to vote for the return proposal to basically be voting against something. So, I don't understand the whole framework 100%, but that's the basics, I think. And at this point, I think somebody said we needed like 25 more million Hive voting for the proposal. I was looking over here at Fusion Sounds in the house. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Good morning. I happened to see that Matt had dropped a second, I don't want to say rebuttal, but further information onto the Hive blog. And this was a couple days ago, but this is like, a week after the Hive proposal went live, and he kind of cleared things up a little bit. It's still, like I said, I can't claim that I understand 100% about how this is going on, but like I said, I think the return proposal is for people voting strictly against this, so there's that we can talk about. KGM says, the guests they had on People's Guild this week had a lot of good ideas about SPS and how to get it out there more. I haven't been able to watch that particular episode yet. A lot of things going on this week. A lot of people taking vacation here and there, and ends up kind of for the people actually at work. In this case, me, more work. But I do want to dig into that and look at that. I do believe PJ's the guy that is the person or one of the people that is working on the Node software, as far as what we were talking about. Let's go over here and look at the proposals. I did a video yesterday and kind of mentioned this, the JPTR Corporation. I believe he's part of that. So Dehota says that's the Splinterland CTO, PJ. People's Guild says Clay is going to start putting pedal to the metal on some of that stuff for KGM. So that sounds good. Yeah, there's just lots of things going on lately. I think that the JPTR Corporation developing the SPS chain, that's a whole discussion in and of itself. I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, they've been working on it. To me, Matt feels that they will, have it out without too long. But then that leads in this whole broader discussion, and there's a lot of things that dovetail into this. And mainly what I'm talking about is the current discussion about what's going to happen to vouchers, because vouchers are a main, and there's a couple different main ideas about this, but at the base of it, it's one of the main things that node holders get out of the proposition. And, you watch Matt and listen to Matt talk about it, and his discussion was, well, if vouchers go away, node holders just won't get those. They don't get anything extra, which to me is just kind of a slap in the face to node holders. Obviously, the idea is that with those, with this working closer to fruition as far as the nodes coming up and getting online and the other changes inbound, the actual SPS that the people are getting for holding the node licenses will be worth more. So obviously that remains to be seen, but an interesting talking point, because a lot of these things that we talk about and that are proposals, and you have to understand they dovetail into so many different aspects of the game. So we were talking about vouchers, right? And the removal and or the changing of how they're used, etc. But I was thinking this morning, that's also going to affect landholders, because in Land 2.0, we were told that vouchers were going to be used for certain things as well. I was thinking as a land game player, I was thinking, well, how's this going to affect me? If the vouchers, go the route of the People's Guild, the proposal they put out and are changed around and can no longer be used for Land 2.0, then those things will be relegated to just the usage of DEC, which will increase my costs, right? So there's a lot to think about. A lot of these things aren't just a one and done and a very narrow voting. You have to think about, well, if I vote for this, what's it actually affecting and spidering out, So I'm not saying yay or nay either way. I think vouchers do need to go, but I'm just trying to think of the bigger game, how this is going to affect everything, and in particular me. Being a little bit selfish, I've got to come up with ideas, for videos and stuff, and they mainly come out of how's the game affecting me, and how am I being affected, and kind of spider out from that as far as getting ideas. Well, if I'm being affected this way, then other people in my situation will also be affected this way. Okay, so let's catch up with chat. People's Guild says, I went and bought another 50K SPS after chat with PJ. Gathering says, looks like the People's Guild proposal will pass and can't wait to see the voucher items in the Glint store. Will take time, but I'm continuing to snag cheap vouchers. Yeah, you've been talking about that lately. I haven't bought any vouchers specifically for that purpose. And I do like the idea of, at very least, starting with transitioning the vouchers over this way. But like I said a few minutes ago, we've got to realize how much this is going to affect what has previously been developed for the game and discussed for the game, as far as especially in Land 2.0. And they've mentioned a few other things. Obviously, the whole idea behind vouchers was to kind of use it as proof of investment in the game, and then be able to subtract price off of other things like cards, and in this case what I'm talking about in Land 2.0, the building of buildings and the and the leveling up of buildings and the whole salt project and things like that. I don't want to say project, but the whole the whole mechanism of salt in the game, and how vouchers would play into all those parameters once that comes down. Now, obviously, that's still a ways down the road, and everything is malleable and everything can be changed. But as far as what it's looking like right now, if the vouchers are changed to specific use for, say, a voucher shop or items within the Glint shop designated for vouchers, then that takes them off the board for use in the land game as far as being able to reduce your cost. It also takes them off of the table as far as being able to use them as the cheaper alternative for paying for your wild pass on a season basis. So that's also going to be another price increase for me, since I have two accounts that are playing in wild, and the price increase will roughly be 40%, maybe a little bit more, going from vouchers to using DEC. I would have to do the math. But that's going to affect people playing in wild, so a lot of people, I don't know, I'm supposing a lot of people are using vouchers. I know I am, because it's the cheaper method to use at this point. But that's going to, the whole, basically what I'm talking about is this whole voucher change is going to change a lot of things, or it's going to affect a lot of things. And I think it's going to affect a lot of people in ways that they hadn't supposed or hadn't thought about. And by affecting, I mean increase your payments. So whenever I do my end of season video and I compare what I'm paying to play in wild, the price justification for actually playing in wild, it gets harder and harder to make when the price goes up for the season pass, right? And then stretching that out a little bit more, when we get closer to the point where Chaos Legion comes out of Modern, and I don't, and a lot of people won't have the option of playing in Modern because you don't have Modern cards, what happens to the game? Okay, so obviously those people could play in Wild, but then you have the higher cost to play in Wild. But then a person in my shoes, who's a large portion of my collection is Chaos Legion, won't even be able to play in Modern. I won't have too many options other than to spend a couple $1,000s, or rent sets in Modern if people have the sets to rent, right? So all good discussion points. Let's catch up with chat. Let me have a drink of water here. So People's Guild bought more SPS because they felt good about it, felt better about it after their discussion with PJ. Lee says, hello Lee, welcome to the chat. What's your opinion on why there wasn't different prices to upgrade to Legendary for Common to Rare to Epic? Okay, so Lee is discussing over on Atlas Earth, another game that I have been playing. This is not Web3, but this is Play to Earn, and this is a mobile game, and you can check out my link if you want to start playing in the show notes, as always. But I've been having fun playing with it, and in fact, this just kind of a side note, I've got enough Atlas bucks saved up so I can go out and buy the rest of my badges for my 15% bonus. But back to Lee's question, what's your opinion? Recently, in-game, they put up these new legendary parcel upgrades, which are basically skins, but they also upgrade your parcel from common, from any rarity up to legendary. And basically, the best use of them would be on a common, and then upgrading to legendary would give you 4 times the income on it, but it also gives you a special limited edition skin on them, which is only good for a month. And theoretically, you could buy it, you could save it, you could resell it in the future, you could apply it to a land. So that's what he's talking about. I think that they didn't. I think they applied a. My opinion is they applied a blanket upgrade just because it was the easiest. I'm sure there's a lot of mechanics in the background as far as coding, as far as the math goes, but I think that they put it out there. They put it out at a high price. And we all know people like skins, right? People buy skins in games where you can't even get money back. I could list probably 10 or 15 games where you can buy. Almost every game you play online has skins available. And people like limited edition, and people are willing to pay the premium for that. I don't think it's obviously not worth it just from the upgrade to legendary. But it may be It may be worth it down the road if you have a very interesting point, a landmark in town, something like that you want to upgrade and try to resell. Just remember your resell point on that, considering everything, is going to have to be around 3,250 to 3,500 Atlas bucks to recoup and make a little bit of money. So to answer your question, I think the answer was that it was the easiest. Versus having to put 4 different rarities out. That's my answer. So, okay. Back to, nope. Navigate back to my Splinterlands page. Okay, thanks for that question, Lee. I'm having fun in Atlas Earth. I'm making money. Like I said, I'm up to 150 parcels, and I'm about ready to get into my 15% bonus with my badges. So that's where I stand. Okay, continuing on with chat. The People's Guild says, first time in a while, I'd put a new chunk in my bag. Okay. I've discussed this before. I buy SPS and DEC regularly, but I just buy small, like $30 at a time, right? Here and there. I put some in this week. This week, my purchase, I think I saw somebody mention it on Discord. They were basically asking, what did you buy this week? So an interesting card that I love is the Ice Pixie. And you may say, oh, the lowly Ice Pixie. But man, ever since I've started playing this game, I've played with the Ice Pixie. I came in and I started out with an Ulrich deck because it was very strong at the time. It's still very strong. In fact, I was looking at the price to max out my Ulrich, and it's kind of frightening. I mean, still, it's like $150, something like that. But it's a lot cheaper than what it was, right? Anyway, this was one of the main cards that I used to use back in the day, and I still use it frequently. This is an excellent 2-mana card that you can fit into a lot of situations. You got flying, so you got the 25% bonus to miss. You've got flying, so that if you get an earthquake match, flying always helps out in that situation. And you got shatter. Plus, at max level, you're looking at 5 speed. You've got a little bit of shield there, so that'll absorb a hit in most cases, unless you get hit by magic. And you've got 2 damage. So I love this. And I had it sitting at like level 4 or 5, something like that. And so I'm like, I started seeing Archmage use it several times. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and max it out. So, and also, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but last weekend was my birthday, and my brother got me an Immortalis, a max level Immortalis. So that was one of the ones I was missing. So that was a nice birthday present. So those have been my cards. Let me see what else. I don't know if I mentioned this one as well, and it's just a common, but it is an excellent common. Trying to see where I'm at here. Okay, Chaos Agent. Agent. Once again, another one of those cards that I had hovering around like level 6 or something or other. But I found that I frequently use it. You know where I use this guy? I use him in the back. I use him in the back because he has that. He is really hard to hit. Protect your lineup from that. Low level match, you can always stick him in the front as well. And especially if you back him up with a card that has, what's that called? Training, that gives cards some attack with, if they don't have any DPS. I should remember that, but I'm not remembering that. Either way, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's catch up. The People's Guild also says, they continue, good idea, gathering magic. I can help buy energy with extra vouchers. Oh, talking about, gathering, buying vouchers. Gathering swaps part for vouchers every day off of a different game we also play called Golem Overlord, which we've been doing pretty well in. We've got a lot of upgrades to our guild lately, but once again, I think I've discussed this before. You can see that we have a lot of stuff researched and ready to activate, but you know what the bottleneck is these blueprints. You can see that we only have 19.5, and I have a lot of stuff research I need to finish, and we just don't have enough. They do come in through crates and stuff, but they're very kind of rare to get, and people can donate them to the guild, and then we only get like the first time a person does their claim a day in the guild gets a quarter of a blueprint. But basically, that's the bottleneck. You can see a lot of our research is bottlenecked, and I can't complete it. So I guess the idea is to force people to go out and buy a bunch of crates. But I haven't been buying a bunch of crates, and it looks like, from the sound of it, Gathering is converting some of his part he makes into game into vouchers and using them for various purposes. Paul Taylor says, what do you think of proposal 158 from TPG? That's a good question. I'm looking up. Soulbound reward card proposal, immediately and ongoing accessibility. This is one of those things that I read through, and on the surface of it, I'm like, well, hey, why not? But this is, I've read some of the thoughts in the threads spawned off of this, and I can see where they're going with that too. But I agree with it. I don't know how much I'm, as far as reward cards, how much of them I'm going to unlock due to the costs involved. It sounds like they've thought this out pretty good. But basically they want to, correct me if I'm wrong, but you want to have the availability to unlock cards sooner, but it just costs more, right? I have no problem with that. I don't think that, maybe I'll be wrong. Obviously, some of the whales will jump on this and probably unlock quickly. But guys at the lower end like me, you've got to consider what's worth more. There's some of them I will unlock and maybe pay for. But remains to be seen, right? I voted for it. So we'll see how that goes, if it makes it into proposal. Paul continues, yeah, the Wild Pass not being able to be bought with vouchers is substantial. Yeah, I mean, once again, that will bring back the discussion about the Wild Pass back to the forefront. And I don't mind. I'm not trying to kick a dead horse, right? Um, it's just as my videos, I'm trying to look at from a guy's perspective where I use my primary and secondary account are played in Wild by Archmage Bot. And to tell you the truth, I have so much on my plate on a daily basis. I have thought about going back to Modern before I lose that ability, like we discussed earlier because of Chaos Legion rolling out. But that would really reduce my time if I had to come in and play a lot of. It would be an interesting experience to go back into Modern, see what I could do. Obviously, I probably would be lucky to go ahead and get into Gold in Modern. Probably stand in high Silver, Silver 1 maybe, probably Gold 3 maybe. But it would take me a while to get there. And once again, I think the removal and or the changing of vouchers is going to affect a lot of things that people hadn't thought about, especially spidering out into the future about things we've talked about in future evolutions, such as Land 2.0. So we lose the availability of having vouchers there to use to cut some of the costs involved in upgrading the buildings, upgrading your land, making new buildings, what have you. It's all going to end up costing more DEC. Okay. Obviously, this being down the road, they can always adjust the prices, but yeah, at this point in time, my main point was this change is going to affect a lot more than what you may be thinking about, right? So, Vilson's in the house. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Gathering says he swapped 7,000 part for 2,000 DEC for the season pass. That's another option. If you're playing Golem Overlord, you want to save up some part and swap it for your season pass. That is another option. And like I said, this goes back to why I like the whole idea, and I've enjoyed playing on the Hive blockchain, because we have all these different cool games that you can play on the Hive blockchain and swap the tokens back and forth. And sometimes it's a little bit more of a hurdle. Lately I've been playing Woo, and you have to be able to buy things on Woo, you have to switch your tokens for Hive-backed dollars, not swap Hive. So that's one interesting note as well. Let's see here. This is the Woo staking page. I've got about 354,000 Woo staked, and it's drawing about 14% interest. So I was just coming over here to check. Once this gets this combination gets up to 1,000, they also give you a little bit of Woo depending upon if you delegate them some Hive. Once this gets up to 1,000, I go ahead and claim, and then I stake it to bring the number up. But something else going on. But anyway, I like the idea of all the different games on Hive and being able to earn and swap your tokens around depending upon what you're doing at that point in time. So I have swapped a lot of tokens over the last few years to DEC and used them to buy cards and swap them to SPS to be able to stake and this and that. And I've done the reverse. I keep what I call a slush fund of SPS here, 500. Actually, I have to go ahead and claim for today, so I'll do that while I'm here. But I keep a little bit of a slush fund of SPS here so that if I need a card in a different game or something or other that I want to do, then I have a little bit of SPS that I can swap on Hive Engine for the other token involved. Dehota says, when Chaos moves out of Modern, SPS per win in Modern should go up substantially, which will make people FOMO into new set and Rebellion until it all balances out again. Well, there's a problem on the Hive blockchain with claiming. So, yeah. I mean, that's an interesting point from Dehota. Yeah, I think that when Chaos moves out of Modern and into Wild, logically speaking, you will have a lot fewer players in Modern and a lot more players in Wild. So earnings in Wild will go down while the cost to play in Wild is going up because of the removal of vouchers. And there will be fewer players in Modern, so the rewards will increase. But once again, we'll have a fewer people playing. So it depends upon where they are with the whole, streamlining the bots that they're playing from, that aren't drawing off the system. You will probably end up playing bots a lot more, kind of like I do in WoW. If you're playing WoW and you play a bot or somebody called Couch Committee, it's an inside joke from the guy who makes it, but that is a bot. So, we really need to get to a position where there's just a lot more. Matt keeps saying it, the answer to everything is get more people in the game. But I think they're really going to have to heavily think about how this Chaos Legion moving out of Modern is going to affect everything. Because if they're not careful, it could heavily impact the game in the wrong way at the wrong time, because at that time they're also going to be trying to do a big marketing push and trying to push the game with all these big changes that have been going down. So I'm just bringing this up. I'm not trying to step on anybody's feet. I'm just trying to bring out ideas for us all to think about, right? So the more information, the better. And that was a good statement from Dehota, because it was seems to me logical, right? So the People's Guild says, at Lee, are you familiar with Splinterlands, or did you find Bronze Dragon via Atlas Earth? And they said Atlas Earth. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of new subscribers due to my Atlas Earth coverage. Like I said, it's not blockchain, but it is still play to earn, and it's something I've been having fun with. Basically, it's one of those, there's a lot of platforms out there where you can play to earn. It's a marketing type thing where you watch commercials and you earn bucks in game by doing various things, play games and things like that, spend those bucks on buying properties, and then turn around and you earn more money. And that can be withdrawn by PayPal or gift cards or a number of different things. So I've done videos on this, but I've got a lot of new subscribers and I'm having fun. So I will continue coverage. I'm not going to reduce my coverage of Splinterlands, but I will cover that game as well. Like I said, we're getting ready to do a big, long, probably 2-hour drive today to go out and try to get badges within the game. You get a different badge depending upon a new city or a new county you're in, a new area. So I have some bucks saved up to go out and get those badges, get into my 15% bonus section. So the People's Guild says, cool, let us know if you try out Splinterlands. We'll delegate you some bunch of cards to get going. Nice. People's Guild continues, I think I've pulled one blueprint in the last 2 to 3 weeks. Ridiculous rates. Yeah, I have terrible rates of pull in Golem Overlord. In fact, I need to do a quest where I need to open up some crates. And I believe I have some crates to open. Yeah, I bought some crates in that last thing. So that last, Yixen's Trinkets 2, they just released last week. I need to do a video and open these. But I didn't go overboard because I have terrible luck in it. I have bad luck in Splinterlands open packs, but my luck in Golem Overlord is terrible. So let's go ahead and catch up with chat. Jabby Saint says, few people will unlock at this point. I think we should just wait until the marketing comes in. Yeah, I think you had, there was a statement somewhere. I look at so many different information streams that I forget where I'm seeing this, but I think you had brought that up. that's an interesting point. You know, and the ideas. I think the main ideas kind of hit each other, because Matt's idea was to unlock, and the unlock be cheaper up front and escalate up as time went on. And then this is be more expensive up front. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know. So Gathering says, think they will ever get rid of burning cards for DEC. I don't think you should be able to burn a card unless you are upgrading it. Will eliminate a ton of DEC inflation and force people to burn SPS. I don't know. I have not burned much lately. Last time I did was, let's see here. So last time I did was I burned some gold foil soulbounds before the change went over. Let's see here. Let's go to regular foil, and see, soulbounds, if you burn them, they convert to glint. But regular cards, if you burn them, you still convert to dark energy crystals. That's what you're talking about. So, yeah, I haven't looked at that because I don't really do that a lot. I do have a fair amount of soulbound cards that I was thinking about burning into glint and then turning around and, you know, trying for some better cards. But I'm sure they're looking at those numbers, and I don't know if it is on their list of things to do to actually change that. So Jabby Saint says, in that way, when new players got onboarded, the demand for those unbound cards will increase. You know, I think that either way we do it, I think there's not going to be a lot bought. I mean, a lot unbound. And those that are unbound, people that are into the game already will buy up. Because like me, I've been playing for quite a while. I have a significant, let's change over here. I've got a lot of cards that I still need to max out, specifically like epic and legendaries. People like me will say, oh, I like using Noah the Just. I need to max him out, and I need 6 more or whatever it is. Actually, I need a total of 46. If I want to max him out, I'll go ahead and buy what I need. And I think that will absorb everything that's on the market. I don't think any of these will be left over. I don't think much at all will be left over for people new to the game. I think what the people new to the game are going to be concentrating on are more likely than not the one-click rentals, the set rentals, and rentals of whatever's available at that time to get them up and into the game, and obviously the new card packs, whatever's available at the time. That's my take on it. I don't think, I think whatever is unbound and put on the market will be absorbed. Obviously, if the costs are, you know, the costs are going to be pretty high, okay, because you have to come up to the point, at least when you sell a card, of at least what you paid for it to break even, plus a certain amount to get a little bit of profit off of it. That's just market, or that's just how business works, right? So the cards are going to be more expensive than what Chaos Legion cards are. They'll probably be about the same price as what the current card set is. But I still think they'll be absorbed by people who've been playing for a while, and they just want to max out their card sets and move forward into the next one. That's what I'm thinking. Let's see here. Paul Taylor says, at Gathering the Magic, the DEC burn creates a floor price for cards, which I think is good. Gathering retorts, such a great time, or he just replies, such a great time to load up on SPS. 10x is only 6 to 7 cents at this point. Such long-term potential. Gathering being very pro SPS this morning. Let's look at how it's doing. I bought some this week. Bought a little bit, like I said, not much. DEC's been doing this up and down thing, up and down, right under 7 cents. SPS is sitting at 0.0061, which is down a little bit compared to where we were earlier this week. It was on an upward trend. Now we're on a downward trend. Vouchers continue going down. Hive has recovered a little bit since the beginning of the week, which is a good thing. And what was interesting to me is anybody have an answer of why we're seeing the decrease in the DEC supply over the last month or so? Because look at this. It was on the uptake, and now we're on the downtake with DEC. So I haven't put a whole lot of thought into that reason, but the question occurred and popped into my mind when I looked at it, I think yesterday. Gathering says no one will be playing Modern at higher levels when Chaos goes out. How many people have Max, Rift, or Rebellion? Not many. It'll be a game for the big spenders, which it always is, but it was obviously much cheaper to get a max level deck and be competitive with Chaos Legion. Once that leaves, you're going to have a lot fewer people in Modern, and they've got to look at that, right? So, I mean, I don't think there's any way around it, because obviously we've got to roll on to the next set when it's ready and when they want to put it out, right? That's the way card games work, and that's the way these kind of situations work. Whenever Chaos Legion rolls out, the next newest one will replace it, or Rebellion will replace it, and the next newest one will be the first one in the rank. Yeah, it's a big discussion, but I don't think I've heard a lot of people talking about it from a YouTuber standpoint. I'm not trying to spread doom and gloom. I'm just trying to be realistic here, right? Now, with that said, I mean, like Dehota said, it might push people to want to buy cards more, or the newer packs more, to be able to compete at the higher levels in Modern as your earnings go up, right? So I'll have to make that decision when I get to it, but I still don't see myself spending another couple $1,000s on packs or singles or whatever once that happens. But I could be wrong. I mean, like I've said before, all it takes is one really good, this whole evolution the team is in. Obviously, it's a series of a lot of small changes, but all it takes is one thing for a game to jump off, and then we're back into a bowl, getting popular, like I said. And they have to cross that bridge to get Web 2 type people into the game. And I was making a video yesterday, and it occurred to me that once you get in and you start trying to describe Splinterlands to a new player, it gets complicated really quickly. And I try to make my videos when I do those type of things for new players so it doesn't get in the mud and muck and mire too deep, and kind of, be appealing, show the card game in and of itself. But once you start talking about all the details of the game, it gets complicated quickly, something that a lot of us players who've been playing for years take for granted because we understand how the systems work. But I'm mentioning this is because this is something that the team has to bridge to get a lot of new players into the game and make it a lot simpler to get into, right? So either way. Trying to catch up with chat. Paul Taylor says, do you still open physical TCG packs like Pokemon and Magic the Gathering? Well, I have a stack of Magic here. Have 2 stacks on my desk. I don't do them a lot. I started a side channel for that, but it kind of got... I saw where the costs to run those kind of channels and do a lot of openings all the time, it was just cost prohibitive. Now, with that said, I do invest in Pokemon because Pokemon cards do tend to go up over short amounts of time, 1, 2, 3 years. So I do have sealed Pokemon downstairs. I don't do openings. I'm a longtime Magic the Gathering fan. I'm not a fan of what Hasbro has done to the company lately, ringing it for all it's worth and putting out so many expansions that nobody can catch up or keep up. Either way, I'm still a fan of them. I don't do a lot of openings because it gets cost prohibitive. And like I said, I don't really earn anything off of this channel or my other channels. So it's, once you get into the hundred thousands of millions of viewers, you get paid well enough to do that. But myself, I don't. I do, like I said, I do invest in some of the Pokemon expansions, and I put them away. So there's that. I'm still interested in it, but don't do it as much anymore. My financial journey's in the house. Welcome. Why are you sitting on so many parts and shards? You should use them to upgrade some more. Yeah. To be frank, I am keeping a portion back because there are a lot of things I may have to put them into for the guild. And when you're looking at upgrading guild things within the guild, it costs a lot. So when we get, for instance, I'll give you a for instance, right? And I am still upgrading myself as time goes along. But when we get into, say, for instance, we're working on Arcane Library right now. We have all the part available, put back to increase this by 1 level. But the shard is what's taken quite a long time. And what happens is when these upgrades get kind of close, then what I end up doing is I end up footing the bill to go ahead and advance the guild to the force. So, that's kind of I like to have a slush fund, so to speak. So if I need to go ahead and throw them into the guild, then it's there. So that's the answer to that. I don't really have a better answer. JWYMC2 is in the house. Welcome. Haven't seen that name before. Thanks for dropping by. Do you need money to start Splinterlands? Yes, you do. You do need, at very least, to buy a spell book, which is $10. Okay, and that gives you a copy of what we call ghost cards to go ahead and start playing the game and get up and running. Now, from there, it branches out a little bit. If you want to start earning in game, you have to put some money into Splinter Shards and invest those. Well, it basically, you stake them, and that's like a savings account. But basically, the more you stake and put into the game, the more you earn out of the game. So that's the way it's situated. And it does get deeper. Like I said, it's once you start explaining how the game works. Basically, why that is because there's really that is basically the way the game earns money, right? In other games, we were discussing Atlas Earth, okay? It is a free-to-play, play-to-earn game, but their base is marketing. So you don't really have to buy anything to get into that game to start playing it, because the way they're making money is forcing you, well, not forcing you, you're watching a bunch of ads for them, right? And that's the way they're making money off of companies, right? So in this game, it is more of a collectible card game that's put on a blockchain. So there are, in the past, and it's a constant evolution, the game has been in an evolution. In the past, you used to have to buy very little and you earned a lot more, but that has proven that there's not a long-term sustainability for the guild or for the game. So they've modified things, and we're earning a lot less than we did a couple years ago. But the base is, yes, you do have to put some money into the game to be able to make money out of the game. So it does get deeper than that, but that's the basic answer. Thanks for asking. Gathering the Magic says, the like button is feeling ignored. Give it a light tap, everyone. Yes, I would appreciate If you're new here or if you're just watching on a weekly basis, I appreciate your time. Hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, why not? It's a perfect time to hit that subscription and that bell button. I put out all kinds of stuff on a weekly basis, and I try to segment everything by playlist. So if you're just interested in Splinterland stuff or Hive engines or Hive games, just subscribe to that playlist and you'll get that information. And if you're just interested in Atlas Earth, just subscribe to that one, and I try to keep everything very segmented, and I try not to blast everybody with like everything I'm doing, because I am playing a lot of different things. So, but I do appreciate that. Paul Taylor says, I think a decent amount will be left over. I think I will unlock the real meta cards to rent out. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that obviously the meta cards, the ones that are real popular, people will unlock the first and will bear a premium on the market, right? It's just logical. The stronger cards, right? Let's see here. Gathering says, SPS will continue to drift lower over the next few months, year, until it is fully issued. 0.001 wouldn't surprise me. There's been a lot of people talking about that and waiting for that to happen to fully back up the truck, so to speak. I don't necessarily want that to happen. I haven't. Logic would indicate that as more comes in, unless we get more people or more need for the token, obviously that's the answer, right? More need for the token and more usage. Unless there's more people that come in, the more that comes into the system, that will force the price down, unless we buy more, use it more, etc. But it's logical that it would go down. I'm hoping it doesn't, obviously, but that's why I'm kind of dollar cost averaging over time. Dehota says, I agree with the basis of that theory. However, I think an alt run or a large successful marketing campaign could create an avalanche effect. Yeah, and that goes back to my point. It's we just need more people. That's what the point is. Matt says it time and time again, and like I said, and that goes back to the work the team's doing on the game. They've improved the functionality of the game within the mobile app, and that works a lot better. I still think they need, or mobile browser, not app, but I still think they need a standalone app. I know it takes a whole separate development team. I've discussed that before. But I still think it would be better to have a standalone app, which, that's either way. Yeah, the more people, the more need for the token, the more, so to speak, the more fighting for it within the game, and the better off for the token value. But we need to get to that point where the game has improved and they've crossed that bridge of making it easier for new players to get in and, and get a lot of new Web 2 players in, because there's a lot of people on the Web 2 side that think have a bad opinion of Web 3. I don't know why. These are the same people that'll dump $50 into a skin of a random gun in a game, or I'm playing EVE Online. I love playing EVE Online, but you can go in and pay several $100s for skins of ships and stuff like that, So either way, and you can't recoup anything once you pay for a skin in a game like a Web 2 game. It's just there. You can use it if you're subscribing or if you're playing the game, But if you're not playing the game, you can't sell it and get your money back or make a profit, make a loss. That's how it works. Joffrey Jones is here. Thanks for coming by. Alluvium is live. You can play free and farm alluvials and resources to sell. I've had a lot of people, a lot of subscribers on my channel say, hey, try out Alluvium. I've watched several videos from Bulldog playing Alluvium into the lead up. And the play he was doing just really didn't grab me. But there's so many people, and it's such a popular game lately, and it's drawing such attention. I'm going to have to take a look at it and get a better opinion by jumping in and, trying it out. So, like I said, some things you can have an opinion of, and then once you try it out, you have a completely different opinion of it. Let's see here. Dehota says, if we get momentum and SPS increase in price could create FOMO. Yeah. And especially as we get to that drawdown time period, it's a little ways out. We're still, 2.5 years out. But as we get to that time period and people see the end in sight, that will also create FOMO. That's why I'm trying not to get FOMO and just kind of getting a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, and dollar cost averaging. So when we get to the end and the price goes down and hits some kind of floor, and then it starts going back up again, then I can avoid the rush, right? And just follow my standard plan. Not investment advice. None of this is investment advice. Okay. So, Wibble's in the house with the late as usual Gathering the Magic says hello to Wibble. Joffrey says, Bronze Dragon, your new player video last night would confuse the hell out of new players. You think so? Maybe I'll have to take a second look at it. I thought it was done pretty well, and I thought that, like I said, you sit down and you try to explain Splinterlands to a new player, and I'm talking about this because it's one of the chief bridges we have to cross to make the game easier to get into, right? Try to explain Splinterlands to a player that is new and wanting to try the game out. And it quickly, once you get past, hey, it's a card auto battler where you buy, sell, trade, collect cards. Once you get past that brief description, it immediately gets very complicated when they start, well, how do you earn? How do you get SPS? What's DEC? You start getting into this, it gets very complicated. So I tried my best. Leave a comment on my video if you think I explained something wrong. Maybe I've done several versions of that type of video over the years, and obviously they've changed. As my whole goal was just to try to talk about the game and try to talk about the game as a game and not as Web3 or investment or crypto tokens, trying to just lightly glaze over those, and talk about it just from a game perspective. That was what I tried to do, so. Fusion Sound says, at Gathering Magic, SPS fully issued at 0.001 would be a 3 million market cap. LOL, there's no way, brother. Brother. I used my a few Woo videos I've done to as an excuse to bring out my Hulk Hogan impression, which to me, after I listened to it a few times, kind of starts sounding like a combination of Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Savage, and the Kool-Aid Man. So. Paul Taylor says, you should watch all videos and like each one, even if you don't watch the whole video. I would appreciate it. One thing I'll bring up here, and I know we're drawing down, we can go over if everybody wants to, but the one thing that I would like to say is that I find some people downvote videos just because of the wrong reasons. I feel like they'll downvote my video because I'm reporting on something that's happening to a game that they don't agree with. I'm just reporting on it and giving my opinion, right? I think the like button in YouTube is you saying, hey, I like the fact that this person is covering this topic, right? That's what I think. because as a YouTuber, I look at those likes and I kind of judge what topics I should cover more. So if one topic gets more likes and more people watching it, then I know, hey, more people are interested in that, right? So, yeah. Good point, though. Let's see here. Gathering says, never say never when it comes to crypto. That is for sure. Wibble says, did People's Guild just wee at me? Aw, shucks. Can't wait for the interview with Mr. Gator. Lee says, thank you again for your answer and sorry about the AE question in the stream. No problem. We like to mostly talk about Hive blockchain things, but I've put Atlas Earth in there as well. It's kind of a side layer, but I am having a lot of fun, and you can expect me to continue covering Atlas Earth. In fact, depending upon how lucky I am today at getting my badges, I may do a video later on. I have enough Atlas bucks to buy 12 badges that I need, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to find them because the route that we're going to take is going to take about an hour and a half, and I think I might get lucky and get 6 to 8 badges. But yeah, that's quickly kind of an end game type thing in Atlas Earth, is finding badges that occur in cities, townships, counties, states, you know, that kind of thing, and they're put into your I'm bringing it up. These are the badges I'm talking about. So I need to fill out the rest of these plus get one into the level 3, and I'll be able to get my 15% boost. So, and once again, if you're interested in trying Atlas Earth out, you can check out my link in the show notes. I would appreciate it. People's Guild says, haha, of course, Wibble. Might be my favorite comment to see on videos. Yeah, I think everybody likes to see Wibble stop by with his Wii. Rooney207 says, super late to the party today. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Appreciate you dropping by. Joffrey says, you got to get the alluvials in Overworld. The fun is playing your deck in Arena. Yeah, it was the Overworld thing that I was kind of disinterested in. I'll have to check out the Arena part. I think the Arena part was the top-down type of battle portion. Definitely will have to check that out. I've just got so many games on my plate currently that I am at game overload. But good point. Rooney207 says, at People's Guild, hope all is well in Taiwan. Paul Taylor says, all questions are welcome here. Yeah, as long as you kind of stay, I don't like to get political, religious, any of that, but as long as you stay within the gaming sphere, all questions are worth talking about. And Lee says, I just reached 20 boost. Well, it's an interesting discussion as far as when do you buy parcels, when do you buy your badges, and it's all different depending upon where in the world you live, because the numbers are different here in the States versus now there's like 3 sets of numbers. You know, you have the States, everywhere else except for Mexico, and then Mexico, and now they're rapidly expanding in different other countries. So I'm excited about the game, where it's going. Rooney207 says, have you guys tried out Polymarket? I do not even know what Polymarket is. What is Polymarket? The world's largest prediction market. Oh, just got a bunch of stuff about the election on there. Olympics. I'm interested in the Olympics. Lee says, I'm 220 parcels in and 20 on badges. It's a good place to be. After I hit my 15% with badges, then I'm going to switch back over and work on my next section of parcels, which will be the tier jump from 150 to 220. So yeah, it looks like it's a prediction market. Look, I'm over here on the Olympics because I'm not particularly Don't get me started on politics. Don't want to get that going on this channel. But it's interesting. Haven't looked at it. Now that you've said something about it, I'll have to take a few minutes and look at it. So we're a little bit over now. I thank everybody for dropping by. I appreciate your time. Please check out my most recent videos and let me know what you think. I dropped a short video a couple nights ago, basically asking people where you think I should take the channel, what you're interested in. So if you have a few minutes, go over and check out. It's only like a 3-minute video, and then leave your reply in the comments, because after it's been up for about a week, I'm going to take a look at all the comments and kind of draw some suppositions. I still plan on covering Splinterlands and Atlas Earth, but I need to kind of focus a little bit and see where I'm going to take the channel. But I appreciate everybody stopping by. I hope everybody has the nice rest of their weekend, and I hope everyone on your side are happy and healthy. And I will see you in insert game here because I'm all over the place. Thanks for dropping by. I'll talk to you later.